And our other big story tonight, an update on Eduardo Posso's case. As Eduardo is that little boy who died last week after police say he was starved and tortured.
Today we learned child investigators visited their home 5 times since 2017. His father and stepmother have been charged with his murder in Indiana. But before that, the family lived in Manatee County. According to the Manatee County School Board, Eduardo and his siblings were enrolled in Manatee County schools from 2012 until 2018. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies tell 10 Investigates the family moved out of town 3 days after the last visit from Child Protective Investigators. 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus has more.
Last week, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office released 2 of the 5 incident reports. We told you both cases were closed when Eduardo told them both accidents were not caused by his stepmom. Today, we received 3 additional incident reports. One from March 2017 shows there was concern at the children's school after a complaint came in that the parents were hitting the kids daily and they were living in horrific conditions. That report also mentioned that Eduardo got no help on his schoolwork. Investigators interviewed the family, and both Eduardo and his sister claimed when they got in trouble, they would be hit with a belt on their arms by their stepmother. The stepmom denied those claims, and investigators closed the case. In November, investigators showed up after it was reported that Eduardo was burned during an incident with his father. Eduardo told investigators that he had no clue how the mark got on his arm, but did admit that his stepmother was mean to him and sometimes hit him with a broom. Both parents denied that. That case closed. Then in February, investigators showed back up at the family home after a claim the stepmother pulled Eduardo's sister by her hair to the ground after telling her she couldn't use the bathroom. Investigators closed that case after finding a clean house and noting the children appeared healthy and safe. We asked the Sheriff's Office if they are confident these cases were handled correctly. They tell me they went back and did take a look at all 5 incidents and have faith they missed nothing.